Hello and welcome back to another video and podcast from Fantasy Football Scout on Euro 2024. Please do join our league. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the code below my head. The auto join link is in the description as well. And on podcast, you can do the same. Do like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Leave a comment. Tell me what you want to see before the deadline in on the 14th of June, not too long away now. What are we doing today? We are talking to Andy Mode. Some of you will know him as at FPL Mode on X and Twitter. He is on the Scoutcast on Fantasy Football Scouts channel, and he's a very good fantasy manager. And we're going to be asking him, we're going to be seeing his team. I'm going to ask him a little bit about chip strategy. And also, he is going to tell us who his best FANTEAM picks are halfway through this. Our sponsors, thank you very much to FANTEAM. They're running a free exclusive tournament for our users where there's a £2,000 prize pool. So stay tuned to hear about that. There's details below. As always, gamble aware, 18 plus and everything like that. So make sure you're being safe. You can follow me. My name is Ed. You can follow me on X or Twitter at _FantasyEd. But without further ado, let's go as I had a chat with Andy about his Euro 2024 fantasy team. So here I am with Andy Mode. I call you Andy Mode. I mean, that's not your name, is it? You're not Andy Mode. Why are you called Mode?
You can call me whatever you want to call me.
You're at FPL Mode, as you see under his head right now. But where's that come from?
So it's a little bit of a long story. So okay. I love NFL.
How long? Because we all just want to talk about Euros here. How long? Make it 10 seconds.
NFL. I love NFL. There was a player called Marshawn Lynch. She was called Beast Mode. And so I changed it to Teach Mode because I was a teacher. And then it just became FPL Mode instead of FPL Teach Mode.
Just as macho. Teach Mode and Beast Mode. Yeah,
exactly.
Very similar. Look, thank you very much, Andy, for coming on. Those of you who've watched, as I said in the intro, Scoutcast or been involved in FPL sort of world for any length of time, particularly on Twitter, will know who Andy is. A very good manager. For those of you like me, hang on. For those of you like me who were ever involved in Champman FPL, which a lot of you won't have a clue what that is, but if you do, then Andy obviously hosted the epic, the legendary season 2 of that, and it's kicking off tonight, actually, isn't it? Again, but we're not going to talk about that now because I think most people don't have a clue what we're talking about. But anyway, tonight we are going to, I say tonight, I don't know when this is going to get released, but we are going to look at Andy's team for the Euro 2024 fantasy. Talk a little bit about chip strategy, talk a little bit about FANTEAM as well at some point. So we're going to get all of those things in place. But firstly, Andy, separate from fantasy, are you looking forward to the Euros, on their own?
Oh, yes. I absolutely love international football. Like, it's one of those things I feel like that you don't really think about it until the season's finished. And then you have like a week where you've got a kind of rest period. And then all of a sudden it just gears up and you just get so excited. And I think because it obviously gets sunnier as well, like you just get all those memories of beer gardens, watching the football, like having drinks in the sun with your mates. I genuinely absolutely love international football. And being an England fan, I obviously haven't seen a lot of success, but even so, it's one of those things where at the end of the tournament, you can literally say the result of every game, who scored every game. I absolutely love it. And when you also put fantasy into it as well, which we are all obsessed with anyway, it just adds that extra layer to it. So yeah, I genuinely cannot wait till next Friday.
Yeah, no, it's going to be amazing. And I apologize for the sun streaming through my window here. You can see it's nearly June the 14th, guys. The summer's here. You can see it, evidence. But, no, I love that as well. I love leaving the summer kind of having this useless information like who Serbian's third choice left back is and things like that. So great fun. And also, it does feed into the FPL season because there's always a player who kind of suddenly breaks out of these tournaments that all the the Premier League teams suddenly want to buy. But look, let's talk about your team because we'll put it up on screen now. I'm going to get up in here. We're recording a slightly different way today. I can't actually see what's going to be on screen, but it is going to be there post-edit, so it's fine. Let's talk through it. For podcast listeners, I will just read through your team, okay? So you've got, in starting, Berisha in goal. We'll talk about that. John Stones, Theo Hernandez, Mittelstadt, DeMarco, Bellingham, Gundogan, Rodri, Kane, Mbappe, Havertz. And on the bench, Diego Costa is the keeper. Wout Fez is the defender. Bruno Fernandes and is it Andre Gula? Turkish Andre? Something like that. Arda Gula, that's right. Yeah, Real Madrid youngster bought from Fenerbahce, I think. Who Mourinho is already trying to get back, I think. But there you go. Right, talk to me about your team. Talk through it. Let's start with the keepers because your keeper double up is, I haven't seen anyone else with that. So talk me through that.
Yeah, so Berisha was an interesting one. I struggle to kind of find an extra point 0.5 to upgrade my keeper from 4 million to 4.5. And Berisha looks like at 4 million, he's going to be the starting keeper for Albania. I'm not expecting an awful lot from him. And the fact that he's starting is because Costa's got the later game. So I can just transfer Costa in afterwards. I'm not expecting a lot from Berisha. To be honest, I will probably downgrade somebody and upgrade him to Verbruggen because Verbruggen looks like he's going to be starting for the Netherlands. They've actually come out and said, haven't they, that he's going to
Yeah,
be
it's
the
been
starting
confirmed, I
keeper.
think. Yeah.
Yeah, so Berisha was just I need a 4 million keeper. He's going to be starting for Albania, so that's where I went. I think though, if you can find 0.5 elsewhere, having a 4.5 keeper like Verbruggen, I think is a no-brainer, to be perfectly honest. So if you can find that extra 0.5, I think you should.
And Costa?
Yeah, Costa, I like. He was genuinely my first choice keeper. I really like him. I think Portugal have a really nice group. I think, because who do they have in their group? I'm just looking again now. They got Czech Republic, Turkey, and then Georgia. I mean, they could genuinely get 3 clean sheets in that group.
Yeah.
2 would be absolutely brilliant. So if I manage to get 2 clean sheets out of Costa, I think any keeper is worth any money if they're getting you 2 clean sheets in this group. So yeah, I'm very, very happy with that. I think Costa will probably be one of the highest owned out of everybody as well, to be perfectly honest.
Wow, interesting. Yeah, I mean, people who have watched the videos have known how I've extolled the virtues of Jordan Pickford pick at five
Mm.
million pounds. I don't understand. First of all, why is only 5 million when we're the favourites for the tournament and we could get 3 clean sheets? You've got people like Donnarumma at 6. Is Costa 5?
Costa's 5, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Clearly, good pick. I think Pickford's better, but let's use that as a springboard to go. You've already got 3 England players, so talk to me about that. So you've got Stones. Maguire's obviously today. If anyone's watching and doesn't know,
Yeah.
Maguire is out the squad, injured. He's not going to make any of the games. Shaw is in, right? So maybe Shaw might not make the early games, but it sounds like he's going to make at least some, right?
Maybe
So
the second game, apparently. Yeah.
okay, maybe the second game. All right. So talk to me about your England triple up.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted triple England. They've got a lovely first fixture. And I should mention now, by the way, my chip strategy, I'm thinking about
Yeah.
doing limitless and match day 3. So I'm really only thinking about those first 2 fixtures, which I actually really like. Just trying to plan for 2 fixtures is a lot nicer than planning for 3 because you're always going to have that tricky fixture in there at some point. They got
So
Serbia.
is your wild card then going to be quarterfinal?
Yes, I think so.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay. Carry on.
that's the plan. That's usually how I play it in these kind of tournaments. So
Yeah.
England got Serbia first, then Denmark. Denmark were not very good in the World Cup. Serbia, I'm expecting some good things from England in that game as well. And then if I don't play limitless, they've got Slovenia in the 3rd round anyway. But there could be rotation in that match day. I've got Harry Kane, no brainer. Him and Mbappe were straight in my team. I don't think on penalties, ridiculous record for England, so that's fine. Bellingham's one where I feel like he could do very, very well in the group stages. He carries the ball so well, and he obviously arrives late in the box, and he gets those kind of clutch goals as well. He is somebody though where every now and again, when I'm thinking, do I free up 0.5 or 1 million, moving him down to a Saka or a Foden is so easy. And I'm just looking at him and thinking, I want to make sure I build a team with Bellingham in it, because building a team with Saka or Foden in it, loving it, and then thinking, oh God, I've got to move up to Bellingham. It's going to be a lot harder than building a team with Bellingham and then moving him down again. So
Absolutely.
that's why I've gone for it. But also, he's just a great player, isn't he? 20 years old. He's going to kill it this tournament, I think.
The worry for me with Bellingham is that he'll get employed in a. I just don't know how England are going to get set up yet. Like, is it going to be Rice and Bellingham, which did happen at the last tournament? I think it was. Oh no, it's right. It was Rice and Phillips, but Bellingham played a sort of deeper role. Do you think he's going to
Yeah,
play in that number 10?
I think so. I think so. I think it's going to be Rice and Gallagher or Rice and Mainu or even Rice and Trent has been obviously, spoken about quite a bit. I don't think that will happen, but that's been talked about. I think he's got to play Bellingham in that role.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I don't know why you wouldn't. The only thing that could happen is obviously he literally looks at Foden and says, "You have been unbelievable this season in attacking midfield behind that striker. Do we move Bellingham back?" But I think that just hurts Bellingham more. So I think I think Bellingham will play in that role, and I think if
Yeah.
he does, with the group England have got, I think he's a no-brainer. It's just whether he is better value than say a Saka and a Foden that are less than him. Saka's the one for me. Foden on the left, I don't think is as effective as he is through the middle. But Saka on the right, that's where he's been playing all year, and he's done incredibly well. He won't be on
100%,
penalties,
yeah.
but there is an argument to say that moving Bellingham down to a Saka or a Foden could work.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the only reason I doubt of Bellingham, I mean, he's expensive at 9.5. He's the same as I think 9.5 is the maximum price. I
Yeah.
think De Bruyne is 9.5 and Bruno Fernandes is 9.5. Thing for me is if I knew he was playing in the 10, I'd be way more inclined to get him. But at the moment, I don't know. So well, let's wait and see. Let's talk about your France double up. So I suppose that's informed really by your chip strategy. Of the first two games, they've got Austria and can't remember, but it's not too bad.
Netherlands.
Teo Hernandez. I mean, Teo Hernandez is one that a lot of people have picked, and it's been like a Benny Blanco from Game Week 39 is trying to phone me, so I'm going to ignore that for now.
Ignore it. Yeah.
Ignore it. There you go. Teo Hernandez is a guy who's obviously got incredible form for AC Milan at Serie A, right? Serie A. Yep. I think in qualifiers, though, he played about 8 games, didn't score a goal and didn't get an assist, although his record for France overall is quite good. So are you, I suppose, just hoping he hits form for the Euros?
Yeah, and to be honest, I was really hoping that there would be some other options in this France backline that were going to get forward and have some attacking upside, but it doesn't really look like it's going to be. It looks like Koundé's probably going to be the right back. I was hoping it would be that Klaus dude, but it doesn't look like it's going to be him, unfortunately. I think he's a better fitted right back for France, but it looks like it's going to be Koundé. So if I could have gone for him, I would have done. But Hernandez, he's just going to be up and down that left wing so much, and with the other 3 being centre backs, they're going to tuck in, and he's just going to be allowed to let rip. So I think he has got the upside. He is expensive, but I think
is he 5.5? Is he?
No, I think he's more than that, isn't he? Hang on, I'll bring him up now. He is 5.5. Yeah. So. But he is still expensive considering you could downgrade him to another player, and obviously you free up those funds. But yeah, I think he was one of those players in my team. I just thought I would dread going into a match day without him because he could just do it, couldn't he? Like you said, he could be that defender that gets you a goal. I'm looking at the rest of my defenders, and there's not the attacking upside really. So yeah, I really want
just DeMarco, I suppose, and let's talk about him because I mean he's going to be a very popular pick. I think everyone I've spoken to so far, I think, has him. Like Mittelstadt that we'll come on to, but like those 2 wing backs for Italy, left wing back DiMarco, right wing back Di Lorenzo, hopefully we think, and Di Lorenzo is 0.5 more, so why not go for DiMarco? He's underpriced, he's an attacking fullback. I mean, talk to me, are you backing Italy, or is it just the fact that it's DiMarco and he could get attacking returns?
I'm not backing Italy that much. I don't think they're going to do that well in the tournament, but you can't ignore that first game. Albania, it's literally perfect, isn't it? I have juggled with the idea of getting Donnarumma in or having some kind of a double Italian defence. I don't like their attack. I think their attack's quite blunt, and I think they struggle to score goals.
Yeah, don't know who to pick.
A lot of people are going Scamacca, and obviously that would be a good bargain, but I would much rather have another attacker from a team that does score a few goals. They really don't score a lot of goals. In qualifying, they struggled. So I think their defence is the way to go. And I think double Italian defence with that first game against Albania is a really solid strategy, personally. If you can get DiMarco and Di Lorenzo, I think that's absolutely fine. So if you didn't fancy a Hernandez and you wanted to go, Di Lorenzo, I think that's fine.
Yeah, and as I've said in other videos, do watch out for Di Lorenzo's position if there's any news on that, because if he plays right back or right wing back, however they're going to play, he's definitely worth getting. If he's going to play right centre back, he suddenly becomes a bit
But if he does play right centre back, there will most likely be a bargain at right wing back.
Cambiasso.
So you've got to keep an eye out for that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it'll be Cambiasso at 4.5. So yeah, absolutely, that is a good point. Let's talk about the so far. If there was a player for this tournament, it is Mittelstadt. He hasn't played yet, but he's a £4 million starting. Well, we presume starting left back for Germany. Of course, reminder once again, we will see the Germany-Scotland teams before the deadline. This game is different to others. The deadline is at kickoff, not an hour before or whatever.
Lovely, by the way. Lovely.
That. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm a big UCL fantasy player, so I love this format. I think it's the best format of any game, actually. But Mittelstadt, 4 million. I mean, look, I suppose you've just got him because he's the host and he's 4 million, right? Is there anything more complicated than that?
Nope, that's literally it. I mean, he's even captainable, I would say, in that first game, because you're going to want to captain somebody from that Germany game, because obviously you can move your captain every day. it's just ridiculous. Like this happened last year with Sosa in the World Cup
Yeah,
with the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Croatian defender. He was 4 million, played every game, got 2 clean sheets, I think, in the
Yeah.
group stages as well. And Mittelstadt's probably going to be exactly the same. You know, it's again, Germany aren't the team we all expect them to be. I don't think they're not the Germany of old. But for 4 million, I mean, he's just ridiculous value. You've got to
Yeah.
go for him personally.
I completely agree with you that Germany aren't the Germany that people expect.
Yeah.
I know they're the hosts. Their form hasn't been great. They lost 5 of the last 12, I think. There's been some teams that have beaten them that you wouldn't expect. But they did change manager halfway through that, and they're the hosts. And I just don't know who to like. I think currently I've only got Mittelstadt. That's it from Germany. I've
That's
actually going to
interesting.
captain, I think, Scott McTominay in that first game because I think Scotland could
Oh
do something.
no.
Yeah, but the
See,
thing,
where's
this
that?
is the thing though. This is the thing. The captaincy in this game, as you alluded to, you can go absolutely rogue game one, first day because you've got 4 other chances. So the more rogue you go, if you do hit a jackpot, you're sorted. Right.
The last time I did this, it was Spinazzola was my captain in the first game of the Euros. He got 9 points, he got an assist, and he stayed as my captain through the whole match day because 9 points is lovely as captain.
Absolutely.
And if you can get that, so if you can captain Mittelstadt and he, gets you an assist or a clean sheet, you're going to be thinking about your captaincy for the rest of the week.
I just did a tweet today saying, imagine it's the 14th of June with the game goes, Mittelstadt scores, gets a clean sheet, player of the match. I mean,
happen.
It's like fantasy dreams, isn't it? I mean,
it is.
Happen,
I mean,
but,
variance is always going to be massive because we're literally picking just like 1 or 2 weeks at a time. So it is going to be crazy. So, and like you said, in these tournaments like this, just have some fun. Go with people you wouldn't normally go for. It doesn't really matter.
No, it doesn't. And the thing is, like captaining, like you have, we'll come on to in a minute. And I know that's not final, but you've captained Kai Havertz. Probably quite a few people day one will captain Havertz. They'll captain maybe Wirtz is another popular one. Gundogan, who's on penalties, we think. Why not go a bit different? Because, say that the issue, if you're captain, okay, let's come on to it. You've got triple Germany. So Mittelstadt, Gundogan, and Havertz. Say, and currently your captainship is on Havertz, which is obviously a solid choice. But say Havertz gets a goal and player of the match. So he gets 4 points for a goal, 3 points for player of the match. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 2 points for playing 9, double to 18, right?
Yeah.
In this game, with 4 more days, when you've got coming up, you'd have Mbappe, Kane, Bruno Fernandes, someone else I can't think of the other day, DeMarco. Would you stick with 9 points?
I would, yeah. 100%.
What a
points in the bag.
Player.
Points in the bag are worth way more.
Are worth 3 in the bush or something.
Exactly. So yeah, no, I 100% would. Yeah, I'd stick with him, just like I did, when it was Spinazzola. I just think you've got those points then, and it happened last time where people. What you don't want to happen is you're changing captaincy every day, because when you start getting to that last captaincy, it's like, oh god. I think last year I was like, I got down to like captaining Højbjerg. And it was like, you just don't want to go down
Højbjerg levels, yeah. But on the last day, to be fair, you're going to have Bruno Fernandes.
Well,
not
true.
that bad.
Yeah.
Against Czech Republic.
No, that's not bad.
Yeah.
But you just hope to not get there. If you can get it straight away, you get it, bank it, and just go from there, I would say.
Sure. Yeah. No, I get that. The one player we haven't talked about in your starting 11 so far is Rodri. Talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing with Rodri there is the ball recovery, and also the penalties. The
That's
potential
so Andy
for him to be
Mose.
on penalties.
Anything that could be construed as some sort of sexual pun. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
I saw your
on.
eyebrows raise.
Yeah.
It's penalties as well. That's the biggest thing. He's going to be racking up the passes, and it's just that those penalties. If they manage to get a penalty, and he obviously has one, he only needs to score one, and he's proven his worth in terms of his value.
So this is a point of. So I've got Rodri in my team as well because I thought he was on penalties, and that was seemed to be a thing that was fluttering around the FPL world. The fantasy world. There's quite a few people who've commented, Spanish people, saying Rodri will not be on penalties. Morata will be. Rodri only took the last one because of X, Y, and Z. Can't remember. So I think there might have been. I need to do more research myself, and I need to look at this, but I think Morata might be on penalties. In which case, which is fine. And Rodri at 6.5 is still good because, I mean, look, he got 17 goal involvements at Man City this season. Yeah. He's going to be a good ball recovery player. He's only 6.5. So, and he's going to start every game. So it's still not bad, but I'm not sure the penalties are going to be with him. I need to work it out, but it's 50-50. If he wasn't on penalties, would you still have him?
Probably not. but Morata's not going to be playing 90 minutes. You know, we saw it in the friendly the other day where Oyarzabal came on and scored a hattie after Morata came off. And I don't know whether Rodri might have the penalties when Morata's off. So if he gets, 60 minutes of the group stages being on penalties if Morata's off, that might be quite nice still. So, yeah, it's just tough trying to pick value at that price in midfielders because, you know, your front line is going to be completely taken up with about 30 million of your budget. And then all of a sudden, you know, you've got those defenders that are taking up a little bit as well. And you've got to have somebody on your bench that's going to come on. And you've got to have some of those cheap players at some point. And if there's any indication that Rodri could be on pens, then I think he's worth it.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair enough. Let's talk about your bench. So you got Bruno Fernandes, who we talked about. I mean, Portugal up there with France in terms of goals in qualifying, goal attempts. You know, he scored 6 himself, and Fernandes. You've only got one Portugal. I know, so you got two. Sorry, you got Costa as well, haven't you? You got Costa, but no Cancelo, no Ronaldo, no. I don't know. I mean, they've got so many good players, haven't they? They've I think they're fourth favourites. Are you happy with just Costa and Fernandes?
No, I'd like one more, if I'm perfectly honest. I think because their group is just ridiculous, like Czech Republic, Turkey, and then Georgia, like you cannot get any better, I don't think, as a group. But it's who to go for. Like you just said, I can't fit Ronaldo in because Ronaldo is just too much money to put up top with Kane and Mbappe, and I'm not replacing Kane and Mbappe. So it's Bruno Fernandes, Douglas Costa, with Diogo Costa, Douglas Costa, Diogo Costa, and then who else do I get in? Like you said, it would probably be Cancelo, and it would be having that double up. But I think by match day 3, when they play Georgia, and I'm playing my limitless, that's when I go all in, and that's when I have Cancelo, Fernandes, and then Ronaldo, for instance, if I need to. But they could be rotating because they could have won the first 2. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, look, this is why I'm not playing. I don't think my limitless in match day 3 is exactly that. I think playing a limitless in match day 3, in my opinion, is you're turning it into a free hit because it's going to be so much. Which might be the best strategy, but at the moment I'm still getting my head around that. And we'll talk about that after the break. Wout Faes, is he definitely going to start 4 million?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Yep.
Yeah. He's started most games in qualifying. 4 million for Belgium, who have got quite a nice group as well. So who have they got? Belgium, Slovakia, Ukraine, and Romania. Don't expect a lot of goals from their opposition. So yeah, I think he could be a good shout. 4 million.
It's good. Yeah, he's been in. I think he was in my first draft, but it's good to hear that there's some science behind that. And then Gula, what's his first name again?
Arda.
That's it. I was about to say Arne Schwarzenegger.
Arne.
Arda Gula, obviously Wunderkind, went to Real Madrid, played 10 games for them this season, so hasn't played much, but he's their best player, right?
Yeah, I love him. I think he could be really good this tournament. I think he's got a group that could show off how good he is as well. He's got Georgia first. I mean, I'm not going to want him to be, doing really well every single game week. Like I said, I'm only worried about 2 game weeks. If I get something out of him against Georgia, I'm going to be more than happy. So yeah, fingers crossed. But I think he is one of those players where not a lot of people know his first name, but maybe they will by the end of this tournament.
Exactly. Yeah, it could be a breakout tournament for him, couldn't he? There's always a player. Think of Mbappe breaking out. Think of Rooney 2004. Great BBC documentary on that, by the way. If you haven't watched it, you've got to watch that. It's just came out 1st of June. Incredible. All about Rooney in 2004. That was his peak. Unbelievable. Think about Gaza 1990. That obviously I was only 1-4, but watch back and stuff like that. So yeah, breakout tournaments. Pele 1958. This could be Gula's year, and he's only 6 mil? 6?
Yeah, 6.
Yeah, there you go. So look, I like your team. Do you think you're going to make many changes? Did you say beforehand you might be changing Stones to Guehi?
Yeah, so Stones to Guehi and then Verbruggen in for Berisha most likely. And then it's just about those midfielders. I don't think the strikers are going to change. I don't really think the defence is going to change. It's just about kind of Gundogan, Rodri, whether I change those up a little bit. But I don't like a lot of the other players there. So we'll see what happens. But majority of this will probably stay the same now.
Yeah, okay. Brilliant. Right, let's take a quick break and we will, in fact, we're going to talk a little bit about FANTEAM and a special tournament they've got going on. So let's take a quick break and we'll come back to that. So Andy, obviously FANTEAM have this amazing tournament running for our viewers, which is completely free, no deposit required. You just need an account on FANTEAM and you can enter. There's a £2,000 prize pool, and every single user who beats the Fantasy Football Scout team is going to get a free month's membership at Fantasy Football Scout as well. But you're going to be in that league, right?
I am indeed, yes.
And you've played Fantasy for quite a while, is that right? What do you like about it?
I've been playing it for about 4 or 5 years now. Yeah, it's I just like the fact that you can play FPL for 10, 12 years and get nothing out of it apart from an overall rank history. Whereas
Yeah.
on FanTeam, you literally win money. So
Yeah.
I've done football, I've done NFL, I've won, I've done okay. But it's just nice to actually have something to show for your hard work at the end of it.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair enough, isn't it? Well, let's talk about your team. So let me read it again for the audio podcast listeners. By the way, if you've never played FanTeam, go to fantasyfootballscout.co.uk. There is an article on how to play. It's similar to lots of fantasy games. Pricing's a bit different to the Euro game, but and also the bench is similar to FPL in that you can't kind of utilize it during the game week, but subs will come on if players don't play. It's all that sort of thing. So, but anyway, your starting team currently is Donnarumma in goal, Castagna, Inacio, Hernandez. So a three at the back, four in midfield, Szoboszlai, Fernandez, Rodri, and Cruz. Last tournament for Germany. And then three up front, Skamaka, Mbappe, and Kane. On the bench, you've got
Yeah,
Lunin in goal, Gula again. You do like him, don't you?
I do.
Matvienko from Ukraine and Gvardiol. So talk me through that team, starting with the keepers, Donnarumma and Lunin.
Yeah, so Donnarumma, I love their first fixture against Albania, and I think starting off to a good start in these kind of tournaments is good. So yeah, I've gone for Donnarumma there. He is a little bit expensive, but I found keepers quite hard to pick in the FanTeam one because they priced it a lot better than the official game, I think. So they've actually made you make quite a few decisions. So I've gone with Donnarumma there. I actually really like Ukraine's group. I think Ukraine could go through, and I think they're going to be solid defensively. So having Lunin there, who probably won't play an awful lot of games for me. But I'm just looking now, even in match day 2, Ukraine have Slovakia. He's probably going to play there because Italy have Spain. So I'm probably going
Yeah.
to play him in match day 2. And I just like the idea of having him and Matvienko. I did this for the World Cup and had Croatian defense, double defense, and they came in absolute spades in the group stages. And I'm hoping Ukraine can maybe do the same for me. So I've gone with Lunin with a Matvienko double up there.
Lovely. And talk to me. We won't go through the whole game because it's just kind of telling people what fan teams like and helping them pick their teams. Obviously, by the way, if you want to join, there is a link below in the description. Just click that. Again, absolutely free, and there's a £2,000 prize pool. Talk to me about Szoboszlai because I've got him in the Euros game. I think he's going to be very good. Everything for Hungary goes through him, right?
Yeah, that's literally it. He's on all set pieces. He's their talisman. Every time they get the ball, they're looking to feed him. I don't mind Hungary's group. I think because let me just have a look at it again here. Scotland, Germany, Switzerland. So you're not expecting anything from that Germany game, but they don't play Germany until the second match day. They got Switzerland up first. The fact is, if they're going to be kind of playing games that maybe they will be struggling in match day 2 or 3, at least he's on all the set pieces. So you're expecting hopefully maybe an assist or a goal at least in the group stage. And if you can get that, I think he's good value for money.
Yeah, and also remember Hungary, Euro 2020, drew against Germany, drew against France. Everyone wrote them off, and then they lost 3-0 against Portugal. So, but they did
Yes.
much better than everyone presumed. So I
Yeah.
think they're a pretty solid team. And then one more thing, you've got Kane captain. Obviously, in FanTeam, you can't change the captain every day. You've got to pick. You confident with that?
Yeah, I think so. It's between him and Mbappe. I mean, just we saw it from the last couple of tournaments. Like Kane is just ridiculous at the moment for England, and I think if you're looking at who to captain this week, I think it's got to be between Kane and Mbappe, and I think I've just got to go for my man up front.
There we go. Right. Thank you very much. If you do want to enter the tournament and try and beat Andy, try and beat Fantasy Football Scout, go for it. Every single person who beats Fantasy Football Scout will get a pro membership for a month. But you'll be able to see, I think, Andy's team in the league. He'll have a little mark next to him to see if you can beat him as well. Target is on his back. Let's go for it. Anyway, for now, let's head back to the video and talk about chip strategy. So, Andy, we've seen your team, which is great. You've told us your chip strategy, which is, remind me?
Limitless in match day 3, and then wild card in the quarterfinals.
Tell me why you've decided on that chip strategy.
So I love the idea of only planning for match day 1 and 2 when I'm building my team at the moment. So I literally only have to think about 2 weeks. I love the idea of match day 3 being limitless because although it's something you've mentioned that there's going to be a lot of rotation, I think you'll be surprised at which teams will rotate and which teams won't. So we always think, oh, they're easy groups. They'll be definitely going through. And then all of a sudden you get to match day 3 and it's not the teams you expect. So I like the idea of being able to attack certain teams where other teams can't. So if they're not using Limitless in match day 3, they've got to stick with the team they've got. Whereas I can attack some of the other players. There might be some injuries, there might be some rotations, whatever it is. So I like the idea of being able to attack that. I also don't like using Limitless later on. So we can't use Limitless in the round of 16 anyway. And so you're using it from the quarterfinals onwards. And actually, the pool of players just shallows so quickly that you're thinking, actually, you're probably going to be able to build a team pretty easily anyway. So you're not really going to need Limitless. And also, I'm going to have my wild card then anyway. The other thing is I want to use my wild card later on because there will be surprise teams getting knocked out and you will build your team and then all of a sudden it's decimated after the round of 16. Happened in the World Cup, happens in the Euros, it happens every single year. You never think it will, but it always does. So that's the way I'm going at the moment. The only thing I don't like quite as much about it is it's quite rigid. So I can't go into game week match day 1 and only build for those first 2 game weeks and then change my mind and not do Limitless in match day 3 because that could really mess me up. So it can be a little bit rigid, but I am pretty set on doing that, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a really strong argument. Praz, I did a video with Praz the other day who talked, his is the same as yours. And that idea of having a wild card left after the group stage to mop up the mess of round of 16 that round of 16 could create. If you've got 3 France, 3 England, and 3 Belgium, and they all get knocked out, you're suddenly stuffed, right? Because you only get 3 free transfers between the round of 16 and the quarterfinal.
And people will say that won't happen. Literally in the World Cup, I think I went Brazil and France heavy, and they both got knocked out. France got knocked out by Croatia. Brazil got knocked out by, can't remember who it was now. I get whichever way it was, and it does happen.
It happened in the last Euros. In the last Euros, the round of 16, France, Belgium, Croatia, and Italy. I think.
Yeah.
No, not Italy. They won it.
No, not Italy. No, yeah.
Someone else as well, big. They all went out, and it's always a surprise because if you remember, that was the point where we went, England are going to win it because we had Denmark in the semis and stuff like that. It suddenly it kind of. Germany was the other one that went out. So yeah, it absolutely can happen. Well, we knocked Germany out, didn't we? But it absolutely can happen, and you're then stuffed a little bit. So yeah, I will definitely have a wild card in the knockouts. Currently, I'm on Limitless quarterfinal and wild card semi-final. Reason being, although I'm kind of 50-50 with that. The reason being is that basically a chip strategy, as I've said to people, if you want to decide your own chip strategy, just work out when you're going to play the Limitless and the wild card sorts itself out. So if you're going to play a Limitless, ideally you'd play it in the group stage. I looked at match day 2, and in match day 2, a lot of teams have their hardest fixtures. Italy have the hardest fixture, Spain have the hardest fixture, England have the hardest fixture, France have the hardest fixture, Holland have the hardest fixture, right? So match day 2, you think, well, to make it a true Limitless, it's just not the best opportunity. Match day 3 for me currently has too much rotation. And I'm just thinking, well, I don't know that. I'm just, that's a guess. Right? It might be the case that we start the tournament, I change my mind because suddenly it's really clear who's going to be playing their, top teams and everything. But at the moment, that was my kind of theory. So I thought, right, the only other place you'd play a Limitless is in the quarterfinals. But you're right. Suddenly in the quarterfinals, you've only got 8 teams. You've only, so the pool is narrowed. You might have a lot of expensive players already out. And therefore, you can't really make it a true Limitless because you can't spend the money because, you just don't get the benefit. And so I'm just stuffed. I think in previous tournaments, there was kind of an obvious chip strategy. I think this year, there's not an obvious one. And I think there'll be quite a few different ones in play.
I would say that there are definitely some bad strategies you could do with the chips.
Go on.
And I think, so for instance, I think using the wild card in the group stages is mental. Personally.
Loads of people will. Loads of people will.
And I genuinely think the wild card, using it after the group stages, is the play because, like we said, if your team is decimated, that's it. You're done pretty much. Like you don't want to be using every single transfer to then still not have a good team at the end of it. So using the wild card in the group stages, I don't think I would do. Also, if you're going to use your wild card in the group stages, you've then got to use your Limitless out of the group stages, which means you've got to play your Limitless and then come back to a team after that again might be decimated and you haven't been able to use transfers. So whereas your strategy is Limitless and then wildcard, which I think is fine, do not use just your Limitless in the knockout stages because I think you're setting yourself up to fail.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because to make that, to reiterate that and make it really clear, if I just use my limitless in the quarterfinals, I have wildcarded a team for the round of 16. Half of them have got knocked out, and it could be an unpredictable half. I then limitless in the quarterfinals, so I think it's fine. I've got a limitless. I'll play a limitless, and I've got all the best players still. I then get to the semi-finals, and I'm back to my team that I wildcarded for the round of 16. So I'll have 75% of them might have been knocked out, and you're just absolutely stuffed. So yeah, that is the reason we say that. So yeah, I'll definitely be playing a wild card in the knockouts. But I do think, because in previous tournaments, the kind of what's the word? Optimal strategy, I suppose, has been use your chips as soon as possible. And a lot of people have done match day 1, fresh team. Match day 2, I get another fresh team because I'm playing a chip. Match day 3, I get another fresh team because I get a free chip. Round of 16, I get another fresh team because I got the free wildcard, and then hope for the best. Yeah, I think this time's going to be a bit different. But look, thank you very much, Andy, for coming on. That's all right. I need you for. Really good team. Looking forward to seeing how you do, and looking forward to also beating you. That's going to be very satisfying. And everyone can see on the FANTEAM league, well, particularly in FANTEAM, you can see on the EuroLeague, you can't. And look, chip strategy is something that is going to go down to the wire for me. I might change, after match day 1, I might change mine, but we can see. My one's pretty flexible, so I could change it if I needed to. But yeah, make sure if you're watching that you've chosen a chip strategy, because it does change what you're picking for that initial team. That's the key thing. But thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much, Andy. Please do like and subscribe to the stream and comment and all that sort of stuff. And if you're listening on podcast, please leave a review. I'll be back with another video very soon. Thank you very much.
Cheers. Bye.